Celtic Badass of the Week showcases a person of Celtic heritage each week. Those who exemplify the give no shit attitude and come out on top. They may come from our past or our present, but rest assured they come from all walks of life and legend. They are men, women, even old ladies and pirate queens. Now you don't have to be a muscled up Celt in a fur kilt swinging a mighty sword. You can just be a 4'11" Welsh woman and suffragette who knows jujitsu. Now most of these badasses are all too real, and while some of these are only legend, they're badass legends. The only prerequisite is Celtic blood and badassedness. Alright, this week's Celtic badass is Joe Dunne. Now Dunne was born on June 8th, 1914, 3 weeks before the assassination in Sarajevo of Archduke Ferdinand of Austria. Now that would throw the whole world into war. A generation too late for that conflict though. He grew up in British Ireland. He grew up around Irish revolts and civil war. Like many Irishmen, he would have to choose another life. But the old-fashioned urge for adventure led him to get involved. In fact, he had first dreamed of becoming a New York policeman. But some doctor in Tullamore advised him that, being in the army might improve his recruitment prospects. So in 1936, he and some friends, probably after a good night of drinking, enlisted in the Irish Guards. They saw action in Palestine during the Arab uprising, before a greater conflict ended any chance Joe ever had of patrolling the Bronx. The Second World War would sound and end a peaceful era. He would be sent to Norway, followed by Tunisia, and then Italy. The war in Italy was so fierce, but the Guards, of course, they found trouble and kicked ass wherever they went. In Norway, where they were a part of an operation to evacuate the royal family and hold up the German invasion, they did that by attacking supply lines, setting traps, and slowing the German advance. They fought a fierce rearguard battle at Pothos Wood, the source of one of Joe's several medals. In North Africa, they were involved in a hellish confrontation at a place called the Boo, a strategically important ridge. Defending this ridge, they would suffer dire losses, and this is where Joe would win the Victoria Cross for his deeds. And then there was Anzio. Now, Anzio was an operation that has been called the Allies' greatest blunder of the war. It achieved its aim, though, and eventually established a beachhead for the advance on Rome. But inadequate resources and the overcautious tactics of a bonehead U.S. general combined to prolong the action at great human cost. While in the Irish Guards, Sergeant Joe Dunne, in a succession of fraught encounters in Italy, proved himself to be the bravest of the brave, and the badass of the badasses. His single most dramatic engagement was with 6 enemy snipers at a village called Carrecedo on January 31st, 1944. The fight began during the morning and continued till afternoon. Dunne would use his skill to track down each sniper individually and kill them. Then he tracked down the last of the group, who had fled to a nearby farm. Wounded in the process, he advanced on the frightened sniper, taunting him all the way from the shadows, just to keep him unnerved until he could strike his fatal blow. He didn't mention some of this in his official report, but his deed spread throughout the Guard and the Allies, even with the enemy. His commanding officer was less than modest on his behalf, though, and recommended Dunne for the Distinguished Conduct Medal. He praised his skill, dedication, marksmanship, and personal courage. His battalion suffered grievously at Anzio, and that was to be his and the Guard's last overseas campaign. Settling in post-war London, he married a Cavan woman, and after she died, he raised their children. For years he worked as a barman, which was frequented by Conservative Party members. As such, he was responsible for yet another act that emboldened this badass status and must have required great courage and fortitude. The bar was still a men's-only establishment back then, so when a young Margaret Thatcher attempted to entry one day, it was Joe Dunne who had to stand in her way and deny her entry. He survived that too, though, but maybe he should have got that medal. The old soldier returned to the Irish Midlands in the mid-1980s and continued to live there until his death on the 11th of November 2014. He is Ireland's highest decorated soldier of the Second World War.